On July 10th, 2013, the skies over Memphis, Tennessee, were filled with tension as a routine flight from Chicago's O'Hare Airport was approaching its destination. But what should have been a safe and uneventful landing turned into one of the most terrifying and tragic aviation accidents of the year. The flight in question was American Eagle Flight 3379, a regional flight operating under the American Airlines banner. The aircraft, a Bombardier CRJ-200, was carrying 48 passengers and 4 crew members. The flight had been uneventful for the most part, and as it descended toward Memphis, there were no immediate indications that anything was amiss. The pilots, experienced and well-trained, were prepared to bring the plane in for a smooth landing on runway 36C, one of Memphis International Airport's main runways. But there was a critical problem. The plane was already carrying more weight than it was designed to handle. Due to a series of miscommunications and a misunderstanding between the flight crew and ground personnel, the aircraft's weight had been calculated incorrectly. The jet, which was intended to carry a maximum load of 26,000 pounds of cargo and passengers, was actually well over that limit, by more than 10,000 pounds. This weight discrepancy set the stage for a catastrophic chain of events. As the plane touched down on runway 36C, the weight of the aircraft severely compromised its braking capabilities. The pilots applied the standard landing procedures, lowering the speed, deploying the reverse thrust, and activating the brakes. But the combination of excessive weight and the aircraft's speed made it nearly impossible to slow down in time. The plane skidded across the runway, unable to stop before the end of the tarmac. As the pilot struggled to control the aircraft, it shot off the runway and collided with the airport's perimeter fence. In a horrifying sequence of events, the plane burst into flames just moments after the crash. The intense fire quickly engulfed the aircraft, trapping the passengers and crew in a nightmare scenario. Fortunately, a few of the passengers were able to escape, and emergency response teams from Memphis quickly arrived at the scene, but the damage had already been done. Despite the heroic rescue efforts, the crash claimed the lives of 15 passengers, leaving families and the aviation community in shock and grief. The investigation into the crash was led by the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, and their findings were both sobering and deeply concerning. The investigation revealed that the weight miscalculation was the primary factor in the crash. While the flight crew followed all standard procedures, the excessive weight placed the aircraft beyond its safe operating capacity, leading to an inability to control the plane during the landing sequence. Additionally, the NTSB discovered that the aircraft's braking system, while functional, was also inadequate for the weight it was carrying. In combination with the wet runway conditions from earlier rainfall, the CRJ-200's ability to decelerate was significantly reduced. The flight crew was cleared of any criminal negligence, but the crash prompted significant changes in how weight limits are calculated and checked, both at Memphis Airport and across the airline industry. The NTSB also called for stricter safety protocols regarding the training of flight crews on weight distribution and the handling of emergency situations during landing. The aftermath of the Memphis crash left an indelible mark on the families of the victims and the aviation community. While the survivors were fortunate to escape with their lives, the tragedy highlighted the vulnerability of the aviation system, even in what should have been a routine flight. As we reflect on this disaster, we remember not only the lives lost but also the critical lessons it teaches us. This tragedy underscores the importance of rigorous safety checks, accurate weight calculations, and the need for constant vigilance in an industry that is often considered one of the safest in the world. Memphis, a city known for its rich musical history and vibrant culture, was forever changed on that fateful day. But in the wake of tragedy, the survivors and their families found strength in the hope that their experience would drive change. They wanted no one else to suffer from the same fate. This story serves as a reminder that in aviation, every detail matters. The difference between life and death can hinge on something as seemingly simple as a weight miscalculation. We honor the memory of the victims of Flight 3379 and remember the ongoing efforts to improve safety standards and ensure that no flight will ever have to experience a similar fate.